Now, today I want to talk about marginalization. Do you understand? When I was growing up, I hear things like the Igbos are marginalized. The Igbos are the only tribe in Nigeria that is being marginalized. The Igbos cannot be president. We can't give the Igbos, they can't give the Igbos president. Igbo must go. You hear it in Lagos. You hear Igbo. Igbo are marginalized. The Yoruba, Southwest, North, South, and the rest, everybody feels like the Igbos are the ones suffering. The Igbos are the ones that are being marginalized. But we are making a great mistake. Now, I want you to take your car, go to Southeast, mainly the 5 main eastern states, drive around the 5 main eastern states, drive around everywhere in that state, in that eastern state, okay? Then go to Southwest, drive around everywhere, each state in the Southwest. Go to everywhere. In fact, go to all the Yoruba land. Drive into all the nook and crannies of the Yoruba land. Okay? Go to the Northeast, Northwest, North South. Go to the northern Alamajiri infested place. Go to all those thick northern. Go to Kano, Kaduna, Maiduguri, Zamfara. Go to all those states, drive round. Then when you come back, come and tell me, who are the ones that is marginalized? You know, with the Yorubas and the Northerners and the Hausa, you're just deceiving yourself. Let me tell you, you're just deceiving yourself. If we're thinking that it is only the Igbos that are suffering, the Igbos are being marginalized because we've not been given presidency, that's where we're making a mistake. Listen, guys, Nigeria has not worked for anybody. Not just the Igbos. Nigeria has not favored anybody as a country. So we're thinking because the Hausas are giving presidency, oh, they've been president for 30 years, that means the Igbos have not gotten presidency, they are the ones that have been marginalized. The Yorubas have gotten presidency for 16 years or 8 years. Oh, the Igbos have not gotten. That means the Igbos are the ones being marginalized. You're making a mistake. Nigeria has not worked for anybody. It has not worked for the Yoruba man. It does not work for the Igbo man. It does not work for Hausa man. Ibibio, name it. The Bini man. Nigeria has not worked for anybody. Why? Because we have failed to understand that until we decide and realize that Nigeria is one country, it will not work for anybody. As long as we feel that Nigeria is for a certain set of people, Nigeria as a country will not work for anybody. It's not working, rather. If you go to the north, you will cry. I'm telling you, Nigeria has only benefited the few elites in the north. The political elites in the north. That's what Nigeria has favored. Nigeria has not favored an average northern kid on the streets of the north. Nigeria has not favored an average northern child. Listen, 18%. We have 18 million out of school children. How many percent do you think is from the north? How many Igbo children are uneducated? That's the question you ask yourself. That's the worst marginalization on earth. Not being able to give your children education. That is marginalization. And it's the north. It's the north that is being marginalized. By not educating the kids, it's marginalization. Do you think it's all about being presidency? What has the impact of Buhari made in Katsina? How has Buhari's administration transformed Katsina as a state for the northern people? Huh? How has IBB as a northern president transformed an average youth and an average child in Mina? How has that done that? How has Dangote, being the richest man in Africa, transformed the northern child, Alamajiri child, on the street? You can see that Nigeria has not worked for anybody. So we're just deceiving ourselves, thinking it's the Igbos that is suffering. It's not the Igbos that are suffering. You don't find poor, wretched kids on the streets in the southeast. You don't see that. You don't find uneducated children in their millions in the southeast. No. You will see it in the north. So let us cut that thing that we are saying the Igbos are not being given president. You don't need to be president of Nigeria to be marginalized. Let me tell you, the people that have handled presidency are the ones that are even more marginalized. Don't you know? That's where we are making a mistake. Until we realize that Nigeria as a country is for all of us. Everybody as one country. Everybody as a people. That's when we understand that Nigeria can actually work as a country. Do you understand? I like making long videos because I like to express myself. All those 1 minute, 2 minutes video, I do the filler. Only people that really want to listen will listen. Nigeria has not worked for anybody. Let's be realistic. So forget about this Igbo presidency, Yoruba presidency, Hausa presidency, until we realize that Nigeria, we're all one people, one country, one nation, together as one. That's the only time Nigeria can work as a country. The northern leaders has not liberated poverty in the north. The northern politicians have made life even worse for northern children than made life better for them. Politics has only benefited the few elites in the north. And millions are in penury, poverty, squalor. Do we understand where I'm going? So Nigeria has not benefited anybody. Nigeria has not worked for the average man. Our education is being depreciated for the past 30 years to nothing. Now, for you to study in Nigerians go to Ghana to study and pay $5,000 for one term. Go and verify. $5,000. We are busy building road. These people have built they have built a structure where people can actually pay to come and study. Do you know how much revenue the UK makes, America, Canada, and the rest make from just their educational sector? 60% of the people that come to the UK, America, and Canada to study are all foreigners. And these people pay big time to study. These are big time revenue. Big revenue that comes. Do you know how much a state can make if a state is decide to invest in education and build an educational structure where people can actually pay? This is education. This is health. You can build a gigantic health sector where people can pay millions, like India, to come for their health checks and clinics. Look at what is happening in Turkey. All the people who get bad head now, they don't automatically get hair now for Turkey. Fixing their teeth and their bad head. It's bald head anyway, but we know how we call it bad head. Yeah. So listen, guys, as I said, Nigeria has not worked for anybody. It has not worked for the Igbo man. It has not worked for the Hausa man. It has not worked for the Ebibio. It has not worked for the Efik. It has not worked for Rivers man. It has not worked for anybody. It has not worked for Wike. It has not worked for Tinubu. It has not worked for anybody. It has only worked, as I said, for the selected politicians, the few ones. The few, selected few. Because we believe that we are not one. We are not one people. We are not one country. That's why the country is not working for anybody. So my politicians, until you guys come together and realize the fact that even the people that think that they are the ones marginalizing others, they are the ones that are more marginalized. The North are more marginalized. I will tell you the truth. The North are Northerners are suffering more than the Igbos. It will shock you, Abi. A Northern child on the street is going through more poverty, more than an average Igbo child. Have you been to Ibadan? Have you been to Oyo State? Have you been to Akure? All those states have traveled it round. Will you compare Ibadan with Ebonyi State? Will you compare Akure with where? Will you compare Ogun State with Enugu State? Tell me which state would you want to use to compare? Southeast State and Southwest. Bring one state you want to use to compare. And don't forget, the Southeast State was all destroyed during the war. Don't forget that. So until we come together and realize that as Nigerians, we are one people, one country, one nation, that is the only way Nigeria can excel. That is the only way. There's no two ways about it. We all need to get this into our head, our politicians. Come on.